Brought to you by Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by the all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Welcome inside the Rogers Center here on this Saturday. The roof is closed, and it is time for the starting lineups, brought to you by Quaker State Real Durable Oil. And for the Houston Astros, a record of 34 and 68. At the top of the order for Bo Porter is Jonathan Villar, still looking for his first RBI. And as you go down the lineup, Mark Krause, career high 4 RBIs last night, and hitting ninth is Brandon Barnes. Barnes over the last 7 games hitting .360 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
That is the lineup that Josh Johnson takes to the mound for his 14th start of the season. He tries to bounce back from a really rough one against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shortest start since April the 11th. That was at Detroit for Johnson. In fact, over his last 5 starts, 1 no decision, 4 losses, but he's only had 2 runs of support while he was in the game. He left 4 of those games without any runs by the Blue Jays, so he struggled a little bit with run support. He's got to command his fastball a little bit better, I think, this afternoon.
Take a look at the defense. Cabrera in left, Rasmus in center field, and Jose Bautista in a right. Left to right across the infield. Laurie at third, Reyes at short, DeRosa getting a start at second base, and Edwin Encarnacion at first base. The battery, Josh Johnson and J.P. Arancibia.
And at second base, Mark DeRosa, 10 starts of the season for D-Row. Gibby says he's going to be playing some second base along with Historis as Laurie now takes over at third base.
VR is the batter, and he'll look at a called strike, and we are underway here. What a game last night for the Blue Jays. Their offense coming through after continually being behind. Edwin Encarnacion with 2 home runs in the 7th inning, becoming the second Jay to ever do that. Last time, 1993, Joe Carter. DeRosa stops it. And VR is aboard with an infield base hit.
Breaking ball, and VR was all over that one. Mark DeRosa playing second base this afternoon. He is ready, set. It's a line drive, and it's a do-or-die play. Short hop, just can't get the glove and close it on that baseball. And it'll go as an infield single. Good start for the Astros.
Jose Altuve is the batter. Even with a bag at third is Laurie as the right-hander. Comes set, checks on VR. Has 1 foot on the turf, and he'll throw over to first base. VR collected his first major league hit in his first major league game this past Monday against Oakland. He also became the first Astros shortstop to record a hit, a run scored, and a stolen base in his major league debut. So keep an eye on him over at first base, Tabby.
And this is a nice little combination that Bo Porter has to work with right here. You got some speed at first base in VR. 39 stolen bases last year when he was in the minor leagues. Altuve, the All-Star, he can handle the bat. And Bo Porter has said it's nice to write these guys in the top of the lineup day in and day out.
Right-hander, a long stare, and once again over to first base.
He was leaning, too. I think the Blue Jays know that something is up right here. We might see them take it off. He was leaning and actually flinched like he was taking off. Maybe the hit and run was on. You might see him take it off.
The big right-hander looks in to get the signs from Arancibia. He's off and running and fouled off. VR, great jump that time. And looking over at third base as they roll through the signs once again.
He's got some speed again over there. Heading into this year, 162 stolen bases in the minor leagues. That's a hit and run. And see him glance back towards home plate.
Rasmus 2 steps toward the gap in right center field. Bautista shallow and right. Altuve awaits, and here's a pitch running again, and back through the middle. A hit and run on, and runners at the corners with nobody out as the Astros here in the top half of the first inning are in business as Jason Castro strides to the plate.
Jose Altuve can handle that bat. He's small, but he can hit it all over the place. Right back through the middle. Off of Johnson, you can see they were guessing shortstop as Reyes was covering. Here's the lead runner once again. Takes off. That looks like a hit and run also as he makes it to third base on the single to center. So the Astros aggressive here against Josh Johnson.
Well, you look at Josh's unfortunate numbers, and for the Astros, where wins have been tough to come by, you're thinking, hey, if we can jump on them. And you look throughout the course of this season, Josh Johnson hasn't received much run support. Even talking to Gibby before the game, he talked about that.
Yeah, he has pitched in some games where he could have easily won. Cleveland comes to mind. Colorado comes to mind. San Francisco, 7 innings, gave up 1 earned run. No decisions. Actually lost that game.
Swing and a miss. Castro, the catcher, with runners at the corners and nobody out. Back on July 9th in Cleveland, worked 7 innings, just 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. When he left the game, it was 2-0, and Jays lost that game 3-0. Of course, last time out right here at home against the potent Dodgers. The Dodgers are rolling. And that wasn't the case early in the season when they were dealing with so many injuries, but the patience of Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, things have worked out for him.
Aaron Sebia now going through the signs, first and third situation, just in case Altuve would take off. I was watching the runner at third base when Josh Johnson threw over to first. He was halfway home. Very aggressive lead over there at third base by VR. If the ball is mishandled just for a second at first base, he might score.
.92-mile-per-hour fastball, and the count of 1-2. Aaron Sebia once again running through the signs as he checks back into the dugout.
And that's why the third baseman is way off at third base. VR can get off, get himself a big lead. Short, wild pitch, and he can score.
Encarnacion holds on Altuve at first. Runners at the corners, and the pitch is high. And one of the things that, as you've watched Josh Johnson throughout the course of the season, you talk to John Gibbons, you get the sense that Josh at times is just trying to be too fine instead of just going ahead, pour it in there, work ahead in the count, and then start nibbling and picking.
Trust your stuff. Shoot to the middle of the plate and work your way outwards. When we were in Cleveland, Pete Walker talked about shooting for halves of the plate instead of the black. And I think it would do him well. For me, it's just got to get the ball down. He's just hitting too many hittable pitches. Fastball command hasn't been there, and the ball has been up, and they've hurt him. I think you could never go wrong if you just keep the ball down.
Unless you're dealing with maybe a Adam Jones or a Chris Davis. They're able to pick it right off of the dirt. Runners at the corners. Nobody out here, top half of inning number 1. Johnson trying to get out of a jam here. Castro, the batter, hitting .261, a dozen homers, 34 runs driven in, and the pitch down and in. And the count now runs full. Johnson was ahead in the count of 1-2.
You got to figure that runner at first base is going to try and take off, stay out of the double play. First and third, nobody out.
VR with a base hit to begin the game, and Altuve a hit and run, and runners at the corners. Runner moving, and Castro fouls it off, and the count remains full.
That's why the Astros like this top of the lineup. You got to start somewhere. You got to build somewhere. They've got multi-talented players there who can handle the bat. They've got some speed. Switch hitter in VR. Now they just have to fill in the missing pieces.
Can Johnson get Castro? Runner moving again. Ground ball through the right side. VR scores easily, and Altuve off to third base, and 3 straight singles. And it's a 1-0 lead, top half of inning number 1.
Time now for the Scouting Report, brought to you by TD Bank, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays. Josh Johnson, early on here in the American League, hasn't been good, averaging about 11 hits per 9 innings and home runs per 9, everything up from his career in the National League. And again, I think all he has to do is just concentrate on keeping the ball down. Use your fastball a little bit more, use the slider a little bit more, but just keep it down. This is Jose Altuve. I was watching him on that hit and run on that last play, and he was not running well at all. It looked like he was running stiff-legged, like he might have pulled something or something cramped up in his legs, but on that base hit by Castro to right field, he had thoughts of maybe stopping at second base, and he was off on the pitch too.
Bo Porter and the trainer out. Quick word, and it appears as though everything is fine. Runners at the corners here in the top half of inning number 1. Chris Carter is a hitter, hitting just .222, 18 homers and 48 runs driven in. The designated hitters drills this one deep to center field. Rasmus going back, and that one is gone. Jumping on that first pitch, and Chris Carter drills it. And Josh Johnson continues to struggle and scuffling here. Remember, he worked just 2 innings against the Dodgers in his last outing. Home run number 19. RBIs 49, 50, and 51.
And that'll now take over the lead for the Houston Astros. Let's see where this pitch is. He wanted it down and away, and that's what I mean. He's missing his spots with his fastball. The fastball command just hasn't been there. Lots of hittable pitches. This one is right down Broadway, right into his swing.
Yeah. That was right down Bay Street. And pitch is a strike. Red Wallace is the hitter. And it's a 4-0 lead for the Astros. Nobody out here in the top of the first inning. And the Jays are going to have to battle back in this one like they did last night. Over his last 5 starts, Johnson, since his only win of the season on June 23rd. And a pitch misses, although it looked right there. Is 0-4 with a 7.71 ERA. And it's something that the Jays have had to deal with throughout the course of this season. Their starting pitchers giving up runs. They're 14th in the American League in starters ERA.
Big run innings. That's what they have to stay away from. And last time out, you mentioned it against the Dodgers, just 67 pitches in that game against the Dodgers. here are his last 16 Major League starts. That goes back to 3 starts last September when he was with the Miami Marlins. Just 1-9 record, ERA up over 5.
Brett Wallace out swinging. You know this as a former Major League Baseball player. Confidence can be a very delicate thing at the professional level.
Yes.
And clearly he's out there not feeling as confident.
Well, I also know as a former player that eventually you got to change something. You got to do something. Say, okay, enough's enough.
Right.
I can't keep doing the same thing I'm doing. Maybe I'll throw more fastballs. Maybe I'll throw a better curveball. Maybe I'll reach back for a little something extra. But you can't keep doing the same thing.
Ground ball handled by Reyes, and Reyes gets Krause out. Mark Krause, 6-3. With 2 away, here is Justin Maxwell. And I think everybody that you speak to, it's really about, as you noted earlier and we spoke to, work ahead in the count and then go to work on trying to locate the fastball and your pitches. And the right-hander, because he's got all the great stuff. The velocity isn't, and even John Gibbons talked about that, a couple of shades maybe off of the fastball and the miles an hour.
Yeah, that fastball was a pretty good fastball at 94. I've seen him when he was younger at 97, 98. But that, to me, is not that big of a deal.
It's still plus.
Yeah, it's still a very good fastball. You just have to make better pitches with it. Yeah.
Maxwell didn't chase it. 4 runs in here in the top half of inning number 1. Villar got it going, and then Altuve on a hit and run, runners at the corners. Castro then on a 3-2 pitch after being down in the count. He ripped it through the right side, drove in a run, runners at the corners, and Chris Carter jumped on a fastball right out over the plate. Johnson battles back, strikes out Wallace. Krause grounds out, and a Maxwell strikes out to end the inning. Here come the Jays, bottom half of inning number 1. One as the Astros lead 4-0. The Blue Jays lineup here on this Saturday: Jose Reyes, since the All-Star break, hitting .394, pair of homers and 7 RBIs. And a Brett Lawrie, last 4 games, 5 for 14 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Can he keep that rolling?
That's good to see right there. Starting to get that stroke back. Dallas Keuchel, 20 games this season, 25 years old, pitched out of the bullpen for the first month and a half of the season before moving into the rotation. And he's agreeing with them. He's held opponents to 3 runs or less in 9 of his 13 starts this year.
The switch hitting Reyes. Bats right-handed against the left-hander, Keuchel. Batting .324 from the right side. On a hot streak. And the pitch down low and away. Jays in an early hole here against this struggling Astros team. 4 runs plated in the top half of the first, and Keuchel misses. Reyes hitting .338, 6 home runs and 19 RBIs. And he awaits. Ground ball right back to the pitcher, Keuchel. He'll glove it, and a little soft toss over to Wallace at first base. And there's one down as we take a look at the Astros defense. 75 errors on the season. Krause in left, Barnes can track it down in center, and Maxwell at right. And then left to right in the infield, Dominguez, Villar, Altuve at second, and Wallace at first. In the battery, Keuchel and Castro.
Altuve underrated at second base. Most double plays by any second baseman in the American League. He's been involved in them.
Melky Cabrera looks at a pitch, hitting .276, 3 home runs and 30 runs driven in. And Keuchel deals. And there is a strike.
Keuchel is not overpowering. He's got a little bit of a slider, turns his fastball over, a little bit of a sinker, and he's got very good control.
Last time out on July 22nd against Oakland, took the loss. Worked 6 innings, 5 hits, a run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, 88 pitches. Last time he won a game was in Texas. That was back on July 6th as the Astros defeated the Rangers 9-5, and Cabrera fouls that one right back. Lost at Tampa Bay, but he's not the only one. What a streak they're what a streak they're on.
Oh, getting the pitching now. They're playing the great defense. They're doing everything as they now head into first place. There's that pitch where he turns over that fastball. 91 miles an hour with good late movement on it.
7th selection in the 2009 draft out of the University of Arkansas. The Razorback.
One in, one out. One in, one out. What I mean by that is turns that fastball over to the right-hander. You can almost guarantee that that next one's going to be that cut slider on the inner half. Melky was waiting for that one, fouled it off.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Drives this one into the right center field gap. Over to cut it off is Barnes. Melky with a big turn at first and a 1-out single. And here comes Jose Bautista.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Dallas Keuchel. He's got a little bit of everything for the Blue Jays this afternoon. Changeup, curveball, cutter, and the slider. His best pitch is that slider. Batting average-wise is .232 against that. Versus the off-speed pitch this year, batters are hitting .286, so you're going to have to look for something off-speed from him.
Bautista with his 23 home runs looks at a first pitch high and away. Cabrera at first. Keuchel has the sign from his catcher Castro and looks over at first. And high. And now down in the count, 2-0.
And now the infield shifts over like they did last night against Bautista. There are 3 infielders on the left side. look for something in right here.
Second baseman Altuve to the shortstop side of the bag, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Bautista remains in the box as he looks down the third base line for the signs, and over at first Cabrera. Outfield shifted as well with the center fielder in the left center field gap. Well off the line in right, and there is a strike.
Well, makes a lot of sense why they've got 3 infielders. You take a look at those scouting reports. Got a lot of those are base hits. You've also got how many balls that he hits on the left side in certain counts and certain situations that you can go off of.
Ground ball. Chop foul down the third base line. Left fielder Krause is about 3 steps from the warning track. As I mentioned, center fielder Barnes toward that gap in left center. And Maxwell in the right is well off of the line. Cabrera at first, both feet on the dirt with his lead, and the pitch right at the second baseman, and Altuve snuck back across the other side of the bag there, and there's 2 down. How about Edwin Encarnacion last night? Gone in the 7th, and then once again in the 7th. Now that's a good night.
And that's a good inning for it. First of all, and about 5 feet from each other. Both of those, 5 RBIs.
The curtain call. '28 home runs. And a breaking ball. Third in the American League behind Davis and Cabrera. Davis with 37, Cabrera with 31. Edwin also third in RBIs. Davis with 97, Cabrera 96.
How about Chris Davis?
Slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, a little goose egg so far in the second half.
Keep an eye on Cabrera, right? Wouldn't that be something? Back-to-back triple crowns.
I've never seen it. No, not in my lifetime.
I mean, you look at that 358 batting average. I don't think anybody's catching that. Mauer's hitting 324. Trout's hitting 324.
Hurt now. 4 straight games that Miggy's been out.
At first base, Cabrera with 2 away here in the home half of inning number 1. Soft, and more soft, and that one in the dirt. And getting away from Castro, and Cabrera will trot down to second base.
You know, you got to try something different against Edwin Encarnacion. Maybe it is to go a little bit softer. That looked like a breaking ball, curveball in the dirt. And now with 2 strikes, I really like what they're doing with Altuve, the second baseman, moving him around depending on the count. They just do it against Bautista and Encarnacion. Nobody else.
Wild pitch. And a runner in scoring position for the Jays here in the bottom of the first inning. Encarnacion became the first major leaguer to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning this season. And he drills this one into center field. Cabrera turns third. He's headed for home. The throw well up the line, and that allows Encarnacion to take second. Cabrera scores on the single. And he takes second on the throw. And RBI number 81 for Edwin.
You know, we were just showing you how deep the outfielders were playing, and they didn't move. They were staying out there. Encarnacion singles the center. Really no chance to get Cabrera. Look how deep the center fielder is. He would have been better off just pick the ball up, throw it to second base, keep Encarnacion at first. Melky's running on anything. He's got the huge secondary lead. No chance to get him at the plate. Throw way off the line. Look at that. And then Encarnacion walks into scoring position.
Adam Lind. And a strike is called. Lind hitting .296 with a dozen home runs, tabbing 39 RBIs. Number 40 is waiting for him over there at second base.
Single to the outfield, and Blue Jays are right back into this game.
Breaking ball down low and away, and look at him smile. I can't believe I went after that one.
No, he's saying, okay, I see your breaking ball now. Throw it again.
But just leave it up a little bit.
Yeah, give me a shot at it.
Dallas Keuchel, the left-hander. And another one down low and away, and Lind went after it. Strikes out to end the bottom half of inning number 1. Encarnacion with an RBI. It's 4-1. We go to the second. Super Camps presented by Baseball Canada and Little League Canada. Charlottetown PEI, August 8th through the 10th at Victoria Park. Instructors include the great Roberto Alomar, Homer Bush, Jesse Barfield, Juan Beniquez, and Dwayne Ward. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy. Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across this great country of Canada, and the pitch fouled off to the right side. Matt Dominguez, then Brandon Barnes, and then back to the top of the order for Josh Johnson. Let's see if he can make it a 1-2-3.
Yeah, come right after him after he gave it that home run to Carter. Struck out 2 of the next 3 batters.
Driven into right field. Bautista giving chase, and this one curving foul and out of play. Roof is closed here on this Saturday. Josh Johnson gave up 4 in the top of inning number 1. And the big right-hander working out of the windup has the sign that he wants, and here's the offering. And down low and away. In his career against Houston, remember the Astros over in that National League, before moving into the American League. There's a fastball. Got him. Fastball down in the zone, and it froze Dominguez.
Down. Emphasis on that. They actually wanted that ball in, but a good fastball down. It's over the middle of the plate and freezes them. That's how you be aggressive right there.
And that pitch also down in the zone, and Barnes went after it. Johnson in his career 0-2 with a 4.84 ERA and 4 career starts against Houston. Barnes Didn't chase that one, hitting .246, 5 homers, and 22 RBIs on the season.
He's a free swinger. Yeah. He'll go up there hacking also.
He's jumping on that one, but right at Cabrera. Fans, if you want your baseball questions answered by our team of experts, email AskTheExperts at sportsnet.ca and keep your eye out for the Home Hardware Ask the Experts segment later in the game. VR is the batter. He started all that trouble on the top of the first inning. And a strike is called with a base hit. Infield hit off of the glove of a diving DeRosa. And VR chops this one off the end of the bat. After struggling in the top half of inning number 1, for Josh Johnson to go 1-2-3 would mean something. The 0-2 right there. Strike 3. A 1-2-3 top half of inning number 2 for the big right-hander, Josh Johnson. 4-1 Astros. We go now to the home half of the second. Mark DeRosa, Colby Rasmus, and J.P. Aaron Sebia. Jays coming up.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX. The luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Great to be at the ballpark here on this Saturday as DeRosa starts the bottom of the second inning with a home run. Mark DeRosa crunches one to left field, number 7 on the season, and here come the Jays.
Do you get a sense that Blue Jays fell behind 4-0 here against Houston, but they're in the driver's seat? I do. Encarnacion knocks in a run in the first inning. DeRosa gets the first pitch he sees, crunches it to left field. Blue Jays did not take batting practice on the field today. Mark DeRosa doesn't need it after that swing.
The veteran goes deep to left field. Played football and baseball at the University of Pennsylvania. Here's Rasmus. And DeRosa with his 100th career home run. Congratulations, Mark. Rasmus, since the break, hitting close to 400. And he is walking up there with just a load of confidence. Hitting .274 now, 16 home runs and 50 RBIs, Tabby.
That batting average just keeps climbing for him. .274, 50 ribeyes now.
DeRosa, number 100. He's going to be talking about that. Yeah, it was right there. I jumped on it. Go get that ball. Put 100 on that.
I wonder if they know. Someone will go out there and
find
find it, won't they?
Yeah. Well, it's in the pen, wasn't it?
It's in the pen.
Might be back in circulation. 92-mile-per-hour fastball.
Look at that. First two pitches, boom, boom. 0-2, and now nibble. And he's back to 3-2.
Rasmus, extremely patient. A little bit too. And a break-in ball on the inside. And Dallas Keuchel comes back to get Rasmus. The hot hitting Colby Rasmus, and here comes JP Arancibia.
3-2 breaking ball, freezes him, starts that one right at his hip. Starts to swing and then freezes. Recognizes that it's a breaking ball and it's right there.
Arancibia, the catcher, with 17 homers and 44 RBIs. And that big, slow curveball is high. And it's 1-0.
I think he's going to be around the plate. So I think you can get your swings in this afternoon. 2 walks or less in 10 of his 13 starts this year. And Blue Jays are a free swinging club. They don't walk too much.
Well, to that point, the Jays are now tied for the American League lead with 35 first pitch home runs, along with Baltimore and Texas. Number 100 for Mark. JP, he awaits a lead cut in half here in the bottom of the second. And there is a pitch outside and a walk for JP. And patience.
See, I knew once I started talking about it, he'd end up walking a guy. Sets up Brett Laurie.
He jumped on one.
Yesterday, curveball, inner half. Sped up his bat, and that's a good sign. He's been hitting the ball with a little bit more authority. Doubled off the wall in center field the other day, and then pulls a ball for a home run.
Chop to the second baseman. Out at second, on to first. Got him. 4-6-3 double play. That ends the second. Lead cut in half. It's 4-2 now. Houston, we head to the third. 11, Blue Jays against the A's. First pitch, 107. First 20,000 fans will receive a Brett Laurie bobblehead. Call 416-341-1234. Go to BlueJays.com or check out a most Rogers Plus locations. Home run number 7 last night for Brett. Ground ball. Reyes scoops it up. Jose Altuve is out here to start inning number 3.
First 16 pitches of the game for Josh Johnson, gave up 4 runs. Ever since that home run, seems to be a little bit more aggressive, used his fastball just a little bit more.
7 up, 7 down since that home run off of the bat of Carter. And you look at his 14 starts this season, he's allowed 9 first inning runs. And that includes today. Here is Castro. Castro with a base hit and an RBI with runners at the corners in the top of the first. And this one into right field, and right there is Bautista.
You know, it's almost like he was pacing himself the first couple of batters of the game, saying, okay, I got a long way to go here. Since that home run, he's just reached back and used his fastball very effectively.
Getting ahead in the count, keeping it low. And here is Carter. Remember, he jumped on the first pitch that he saw in the third after Bo Porter paid a visit to third base to check on Altuve, who didn't seem 100% rounding second heading into third.
Not at all. Didn't run down the first base line very well either.
He just had to jog home after that home run off of the bat of Carter. The 12th home run that Josh Johnson has allowed. But the offense, you just have a feeling this offense is going to give him a little bit more as that pitch is down low and away. One of the things that John Gibbons talks about with Josh Johnson, maybe when he runs into a little bit of trouble, falling over on that first base side of the mound.
Right, and yanking those pitches out of the strike zone like that right there. Trying to pitch away from contact.
So after retiring 8 in a row, a walk his first here in the top of inning number 3, and that'll bring up Brett Wallace.
This is what we were talking about in the full windup, and watch when the foot plants and how he falls off towards the side right there, and that really yanks that ball to his arm side.
Brett Wallace struck out in the top of inning number 1. And this one fouled off. Carter over at first base. And Wallace is down in the count. Outfield straight away. Laurie well off the bag at third in that shortstop hole as Reyes is nearly back at second. And the pitch is high.
Not a bad idea. Use it to set up that breaking ball. Josh has a good curveball. It's sharp and it's big. You get a lot of strikeouts with it.
Here's a 1-2 swing and a miss, just like Tabby drew it up. Go get a strikeout with that breaking pitch, and he does. 5 strikeouts. Bottom half of inning number 3 coming up. Tune in to Sportsnet 360 for UFC on Sportsnet. Johnson against Moraga. We'll bring you both the preliminary fights in the main card. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson looks to defend his flyweight title, while Canadian Rory McDonald takes on Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger in the welterweight division today, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific on Sportsnet 360. UFC on Sportsnet. Here's Jose Reyes. Bottom half of the third. Chop to the shortstop. VR. And there's one down. Fans, it's time for our BlackBerry Sneak Peek Stat of the Game, brought to you by the new BlackBerry Z10 and Q10, built to keep you moving.
Melky Cabrera coming to the plate. He is the subject of our BlackBerry number this afternoon. Declining numbers for May, June, and July. Batting average going down. So is the on-base percentage. And I think a lot of it has to do with the knee problems and the leg problems that Melky had starting at the beginning of this season. Hit well in April and May, and then if you don't have your legs underneath you, you don't have that confidence and that foundation in your swing, and had to go on the disabled list with those leg problems. You might see that start to take off now because he looks healthy and running much better than he did before he went on the DL.
Cabrera singled and scored in the bottom of inning number 1 when Encarnacion drove him in. Keuchel to the plate, and this one is fouled off of the front foot.
Well, that's not going to help. Just talking about his legs and the problems that he has had in his legs. Quad problems, hamstring problems, knee problems, now maybe a shin problem. As he fouls that cutter down. That's the bad part about that pitch on the inside half. Tough to keep it fair. A lot of times you hit it right off the foot. Melky's going to try and walk this one off. I have seen players break their shin on plays like that, or break their foot. Dustin Pedroia comes to mind a couple of years ago when he fouled a ball right off of his foot and broke a bone.
Keuchel, the lefty, ahead in the count. And a lot of times they'll go right back in there. And there they go. But that pitch was up. And Barnes with the out.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Here on this Saturday in Toronto, Jays with 2 out in the bottom of the third. And Jose Bautista looks at a strike. Chopped. Third baseman racing in. Makes the throw over to first. And Dominguez to Wallace, 5-3. And it's a 1-2-3 bottom of inning number 3. It's 4-2 Astros. We head now to the top of the 4th. Green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone, or TD Comfort Zone contest winners having a very special day at the ballpark. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, we welcome the guests from Camp Uchigueas. What a great day here on this Saturday.
Hopefully the Jays can come back and make it a super day for all those fans here in the community clubhouse.
There is a strike to Kraus. Then Maxwell. Dominguez, if anybody gets on Barnes. Bottom half of the lineup for the Astros. And Johnson is pouring it in there right now, Tabby.
Why not? Use that fastball, keep it in the lower part of the strike zone. Astro hitters taking 2 fastballs right there.
And that pitch up and in. There you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Count now 1-2 for the right-hander.
Now you've got a couple of choices here. You can use that breaking ball if you want to, or you can throw another fastball.
Pitch down and in the count 2-2. Johnson has lost 4 straight before. He was with the Marlins from August 9th through August 25th of last season. Pitch now way inside. Count now full.
Reaching back for a little something extra, and that's what Gibby was talking about, where he spins out of his delivery a little bit. Reaching back for a little something extra and yanks it across the strike zone, that time right underneath the belt of Mark Kraus.
Here comes the 3-2 and fouled away. Count remains 3-2 here in the top of the 4th inning. Kraus grounded out to Reyes in the first. All 4 runs for the Astros scored in the first. 3 singles and then a 3-run home run. Broken bat, and Encarnacion handles it himself. And since retiring Carter, the only blip for Josh Johnson, that a walk into third. Other than that, he has retired all the Astros. Here's Justin Maxwell. He struck out to end the top half of inning number 1.
And it's surprising him with the fastball. Looks like some of these young hitters are thinking about breaking ball. Just keep pouring it in there. It's a good pitch right there, down on the corner. Just didn't get the call.
Driven deep to right field. That one gone. And a home run off of the bat of Maxwell, only his second.
Showing off some power, not a lot of it. 1 home run, 6 RBIs before today's game. Goes opposite field with a fastball. How about the difference between that second pitch?
Yeah, that one was right there.
How it could change the effects of an at bat. It looked like it caught the corner. It was called a ball, so 2-0 instead of 1-1. And he could take a little bit more of a healthier cut. 2-0.
Dominguez. And the count 1-1, and the Astros now up 5-2. A right-hander. Breaking ball. Count 1-2, outfield straight away. One away here in the top of the fourth. And the fastball misses away. You know, if you're Josh Johnson against a team like the Astros, you just keep battling. You figure your bats are going to come through. This time, Dominguez to deep left field, and this one is gone. Dominguez goes deep, back-to-back home runs. Hit by the Houston Astros. And Josh Johnson struggling once again here in the fourth.
Third time this year that the Astros have gone back-to-back. Maxwell and now Dominguez. It looked like a two-seamer trying to get in. He pulls his hands in. Clubs at the left field, his 13th home run. All up again. It just didn't get underneath the bat.
You know, when he was setting them down back in the second and worked a good third, everything was, you know, right at the knees or lower. And now things starting to creep back up for the big right-hander. Josh Johnson to the plate. Ground ball. Chop foul. Making his 14th start. He's worked in 68 1/3 innings. He's allowed 83 hits coming into this one. 50 runs.
You know,
and now 13 homers.
And in this ballpark, which has given up the most home runs this year, just have to keep the ball down, keep it out of the air. Tough to get his fastball and his sinker in the air when it's down.
Barnes strikes out. And their sixth strikeout. You look at the Astros this year in the American League, 15, 235 runs. They just don't score them, although they are today in 11th in home runs, on base percentage as well as walks. It's a young team and it's a rebuild.
And they know that. They know that, and they've got some players on the way that are going to help them. This is one of them right here, Jonathan Villar. He looks like he's going to be a nice little player. Shortstop. 99 home runs now for the Astros. Do you know the Yankees heading into this game, speaking of home runs, only have 88 home runs this year?
Shocking.
88.
Surprising.
They're not the Bronx Bombers anymore, are they?
No. Well, that's why I think they went out and got Soriano, right? Provide a little bit of pop.
Since June 28th, Soriano has had 10 home runs. Since June 28th, the Yankees, as a team, have hit 10 home runs. There's why they went out and got Soriano.
Astros with their 3 home runs here today. Here is Maxwell.
Silent treatment. There you go. After the home run by Maxwell to right field, team don't even acknowledge it. Silent treatment. So he just goes down into the clubhouse. Oh, been there for that. Guys, I just hit a home run. Where are you?
Altuve, the batter. He is 1 for 2 over at first base. VR with a walk. But a home run by Carter, that Maxwell hit a 1-out homer here in the fourth, followed by Dominguez. Just the 8th time this season the Astros have hit. And they're pitching out. Runner going. Throw down. Got him. Aaron Sebia gets VR. And that ends the fourth. 2 more runs scored on 2 solo home runs. Aaron Sebia gets VR. Perfect throw. Summer Fan Friday Festivals presented by Bacardi. Friday, August 9th. Blue Jays and the A's, 7:07 first pitch. Come down to Rogers Center early and check out the pregame festivities happening outside of Gate 10. Win great prizes. Enjoy the live music and licensed area. Gates open at 4:30. For tickets, call 416-341-1234. Go to BlueJays.com. Stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Jays now down 4 as the Astros have hit 3 home runs for just the 8th time this season that they've hit 3 in a game. And Encarnacion.
He is just loading up, isn't he? Just looking for something on the inner half that he could turn on.
Edwin with 28 home runs. Keuchel to the pitch, and this one driven right down the left field line. And Encarnacion with a single here in the 4th, and he's 2 for 2.
He got it. He got that inner pitch, and he ripped it into left field. Outfield is playing very deep with both Bautista and Encarnacion to cut off balls just like that and hold them to a single. Boy, he's locked and loaded now.
Adam Lind is the hitter. He struck out to end the bottom of the 1st. Keuchel with Encarnacion over at 1st. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with pitches just like that back in the 1st inning. The lefty won 19 games in his 3 seasons for the Razorbacks in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Led the Razorbacks to the 2009 College World Series in a breaking ball down low and away.
Steady diet of breaking balls. First time up, 3 breaking balls and a strikeout, 2 more here against Lynn. He's going to have to shoot that ball the other way if he's going to swing at it.
One of the great events, the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. Runner over at 1st. And the 0-2. Out in front of it, pops it up. And going back is the shortstop, VR, in shallow center field to make the catch, and there's one away here. Keuchel with a 4-run lead. You see the first 10 over the last 9. As you mentioned, though, he started in the pen this year.
Yeah, started in the pen, and they moved him into the starting rotation on May the 10th, and he's starting to do better. Held opponents 3 runs or less in 9 of those 13 starts. All he does is turn over his fastball, throws his slider, on the inside part of the plate. A little bit of a curveball. He's got a great ground ball ratio, 5th best in the American League. So anytime you get that double play with a runner at first base, there's a chance of a ground ball.
DeRosa hit a home run in the second to begin things. Ground ball out at second, on to first, and a double play ends the 4th through 4. The Astros lead 6-2. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the BlackBerry broadcast studio. Jamie? Primetime Sports with Bob McCown every weekday on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Here on this Saturday, Jays down 6-2. And Hall of Fame weekend underway in Cooperstown, New York. Buck Martinez there and the great Tom Cheek.
That's great, isn't it? Yep. Great for the organization, of course, for him and his family. He was the Toronto Blue Jays for so long.
4,306 consecutive games he called, and striking out is Altuve, and that is the 7th. For the right-hander, Josh Johnson. Receiving the Ford C. Frick Award, and you've heard the story. 1993, I was a single-A broadcaster for the Palm Springs Angels, and the right-hander Johnson with a strike, and on an off day I drove from Palm Springs to Anaheim to see then the California Angels take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And before the game went over, I introduced myself to Tom and Jerry and asked, I said, would you mind if I sat in the back of the booth to listen to you call a game, because you want to learn as a young announcer? And they were absolutely great. And Tom, so gracious, he said, come on in. And I sat there all 9 innings, pre and post game, listened to him, learned a lot, and through it all, he ripped out his scorecard, gave it to me, and said, hey, I don't know what you use, but this is what I use. And before the internet and before you were able to get stats the way you do now, you had to keep track of them by hand, and he showed me in detail everything that he did. And for me as a young announcer, just a special moment. And I know how beloved he was here in Toronto. And what a great announcer, and well deserved.
Well, you're not kidding. That's something for a guy to
20 years ago.
Guy in the business, right?
Yep.
You were in the business, you were in the minor leagues, but you were still part of the fraternity of announcers. To let him sit in on one of your games, help him along. It's like the veteran reaching out for the minor leaguer.
No doubt.
And having him sit there. What a joy that had to have been.
And it was. And I appreciated it. And a strikeout. That is strikeout number 8. Castro goes down.
The team strikes out a lot, the most in the American League, approaching 950 already. Comes up empty. How about J.P. and CB holding on to that one? Looked like a foul tip from Castro.
Carter looks at it. 2 away here in the 5th. And this one high in the air. And Rasmus able to grab it, and it's a 1-2-3 top half of inning number 5. Here come the Jays in the bottom of the 5th. Can they get it going? Bottom half of the 5th inning, and he's been great.
Quietly, yeah, in the American League, the center of attention. 2nd in home runs, RBI, 3rd in on base, 3rd in slugging, and 3rd in extra base hits. Adam Jones leads 4 of those categories: home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, extra base hits. It's Mike Trout who leads in the on base percentage. So Colby Rasmus quietly getting the job done this year.
Rasmus deep to right field. Going back. It is gone. Colby Rasmus with a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 5th.
Home run number 17 on the year for Colby Rasmus. Remember his last at bat when he struck out on the breaking ball and it froze him 3-2? I think he was looking breaking ball that time. And he gets it. Hook and see ya. Home run. Got it. No doubt about that one.
Thinking right along with the catcher. This one driven to deep center field. Barnes is back, shy of the warning track. He'll make the catch, one away here in the 5th.
Those are some heady names that we were talking about right there. Adam Jones and Mike Trout. Colby Rasmus right there among center fielders in the American League, and do it quietly. "41 extra base hits now for Colby Rasmus." Would you take that from your center fielder?
For sure.
I would.
There's Brett Laurie. He looks at a Keuchel strike. This one fouled off to the right.
That home run by Rasmus seems to have gotten the crowd back into it a little bit more, energized them. Still a buzz here.
Absolutely. And that one in on the hands. And talking about the great Tom Cheek, and pitch, a swing and a miss, and one of the greatest calls ever. Joe Carter, touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. I mean, that one will live forever.
Iconic,
Yeah,
isn't it? And that ceremony is today, 4:30, going into the Hall of Fame. That is so awesome.
there is a strike.
Did you read the story how that came about? Touch 'em all, Joe? Because there was so much excitement.
Yeah.
That he wanted to make sure he touched all the bases so the Blue Jays would win. They're jumping up and down around the ballpark. Everybody going crazy because it won the World Series for the Blue Jays. Touch 'em all.
Touch 'em all, Joe. What an amazing call. Just picture perfect. And there is a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. The lefty Keuchel has his lead cut in half again, but still a 3-run lead as the left-hander looks in, has the signs, and Reyes looks at a pitch in tight. Rasmus with a solo home run to begin the bottom of inning number 5. DeRosa solo blast in the 2nd to begin things. And this one ripped foul.
What a play. Looked like Reyes was sitting on that breaking ball and he hit it hard to left field. They're going to have to stay away from him, I think. A little bit more aggressive right-handed than left-handed. A little bit more power.
The lefty deals, and the pitch, strike 3. Fans, here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Sunday, July 28th. Blue Jays, Astros, tomorrow, 1:07 first pitch. First 20,000 fans will receive a Mr. Sub cooler bag giveaway. Call 416-341-1234, BlueJays.com, or head to most Rogers Plus locations. And Johnson covering the bag at 1 away. Now the toss over from Encarnacion. And so he is retired 4 in a row. Mark Krause, the hitter, he is 0 for 2. Jays right now down 6-3 here in the top half of inning number 6. Krause taking his time. Astros, they head to Baltimore. They have an off day on a Monday, and then they take on the Orioles on Tuesday. Johnson stares in, has a sign, and Krause looks at the breaking ball. And for the Jays, it's off to Oakland. That's Will Rogers on a Monday against A.J. Griffin. There is lefty getting started. This one fouled right back up here. Todd Redmond tomorrow for the Jays. Johnson. And Krause high in the air, shallow center field. Going back is DeRosa, and Rasmus calls him off.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Top half of the 6th, 2 away here at the Rogers Center on this Saturday. Matt Devlin, Pat Tabler. Here comes Justin Maxwell, who got the silent treatment back in the 4th from his teammates for just a little bit. He yanks this one foul.
Well, he got the silent treatment because he hit a second home run of the season. Right?
Yeah.
133 at bats. Hit a second home run.
His 32nd a game. That pitch up and in and got him. And the third batter that Johnson has hit this season.
0-2, you want to go up and in. That one gets away from him, and that got him right on the elbow. Wow. When that happened, when it first happened, it was so loud, it sounded like, well, did he foul that ball off the bottom of his bat? No, that was his bones.
Yeah. So Maxwell, he's over at first. And thinking about going, he was running towards second.
Here's what I mean. Listen to this. Ooh, that sounded like it hit the bottom of his bat. I mean, it happened so quickly.
2 outs over at first is Maxwell, and Dominguez looks at a strike. He struck out looking in the second. Solo home run, back-to-back home runs, Maxwell and Dominguez. That was in the 4th. And Astros right now with a 3-run lead at 6-3 here in the 6th inning. Maxwell with a lead at first. The right-hander comes set, checks on him, and the pitch to the plate. And a breaking ball low. Maxwell has just 3 stolen bases. He's been caught once. 6-3 here in the top of the 6th. And Johnson chases him back to first with the throw.
Not that big of a lead over there at first base. Got back pretty easily, a step and a dive back to first base.
That big lead is when you have a foot on the carpet.
Yep.
And see if he's not stretching it out. Here's the pitch, foul back.
You see that over there at first base where he's got both of his feet in that dirt area around first base. Get that hitter. He's not going to try and steal, and if he does, J.P. Arcega will throw him out.
Threw out VR back in the 4th to end the 4th. Maxwell with the lead at first, and the pitch low and away, delayed steal. And I wonder if he decided to go once he saw that ball was down in the dirt.
That's what I think. I think he read the pitch, saw it down, hits the dirt, and then takes off. Arcega almost comes up with the play. If he could have ridden that ball all the way to second base on a fly, I think he has him. But he made a nice pick on the changeup in the dirt. And they're going to credit him with a stolen base. Did not look like a delay steal to me. It looks like he just read that ball was going to bounce in front of home plate, and then he took off. Let's look at it one more time. Bounce. Ball's in the dirt. I'm taking off. I got my head down. I'm going to try and get into scoring position.
Right-hander to the plate. Breaking ball down low and away. Josh Johnson, over his last 3 starts, that includes a start right before All-Star at Baltimore when he worked 6 innings, allowed 7 runs, all earned. The Dodgers, 2 innings, 5 runs, and now here 6 runs, 18 runs. It's been a tough go. And that is since that outing in Cleveland where he pitched good enough to win, quite frankly.
Yes.
7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. I mean, that was even a better performance than the one time he picked up his win this year on June 23rd right here against Baltimore. Through the left side. Maxwell headed home. The throw to the plate, not in time. And Dominguez is 2 for 3 and his second RBI of the game.
Boy, and getting to second base on that ball in the dirt.
Yeah.
How key was that for the Houston Astros? Maxwell with good speed, gets into scoring position. Dominguez is going to cash him. 0-2 to 3-2 to base hit the left field. His speed's going to get him home easily, and it's going to knock Josh Johnson from the ballgame.
Another tough outing for the big right-hander Josh Johnson here at home. John Gibbons takes the baseball from him. It's 7-3 Astros here in the top of the 6th inning. And I'm sure the doubts as well. New pitcher for the Jays.
Juan Perez last worked 3 days ago against the Dodgers. Gave him his first runs of the season in that game. An inning, gave up 5 earned runs, actually. That was in the 10th inning. And he was charged with his second loss of the season. But other than that, he has really been a pleasant surprise for the Blue Jays this year.
Lefty looks in and inherits Dominguez over at first, who just drove in the 7th run, and that is Maxwell. Two outs here in the 6th. Wallace grounded out. Krause to center field. He was out. And a breaking ball strike. Maxwell hit by a pitch right at the elbow.
0-2.
Yep.
2 strikes.
0-2, trying to come up and in. And then on a ball in the dirt, takes off for second. And then Dominguez with a base hit through the left side. Dominguez with the lead at first, and here's a pitch to Barnes, and swing and a miss. Barnes goes down. And that'll end the top half of inning number 6. And so in the bottom of the 6th inning, Cabrera, Bautista, and Encarnacion with some work to do. This is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Back inside the Rogers Center here on this Saturday in the bottom half of inning number 6. Close the book on Josh Johnson. And 5 2/3 innings, 7 runs all earned. Cabrera trying to get things going on the ground, deep in the hole, shortstop across to first, and VR throws out Cabrera. Cabrera 1 for 3 now on the day, and that's going to bring up Bautista.
Don't panic right there. The youngster took his time. The ball popped out of his glove, but then he just picked it up with the bare hand. Right here off the turf, hits him in the heel, drops straight down. Now just pick it up with your bare hand. That's what you have to do. Don't panic. Stay over the baseball. And he still has time to throw Cabrera out at first base. If your team scores a run in the top of the inning, it feels a lot better to get that first out. You don't want to do anything defensively to open up the gates.
Past the diving VR into left field, playing a deep shortstop. And was almost able to get a glove on it, but it's a base hit into left field for Bautista, who is 1 for 3. And here comes Encarnacion, 2 for 2.
He just turns the ball over. When he learns to backdoor that breaking ball and use that sinker down and away to the right-handers, and then do the same thing on the inside part of the plate. He's going to be a nice little pitcher.
Bottom of the 6th. He hasn't worked beyond the 6th inning since May 31st. That was against the Angels in L.A. Worked 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Against the White Sox, he was able to work into the 7th. Encarnacion looks at a pitch.
Way to lay off of it. Trying to get that ground ball. Told you he's got a very good ground ball percentage. They've already turned a couple of double plays this afternoon.
Keuchel has allowed 2 home runs. DeRosa and Rasmus. He's allowed as many as 3 in a game. That was against the White Sox on June 21st. Encarnacion awaits, and the pitch driven through the right side. Great piece of hitting there. Bautista turns second onto third, and he'll slide in safely. Runners at the corners for Adam Lind. They had the shift on, and Edwin Encarnacion got a pitch where he could drive it right through the right side.
Yeah, he beat the shift by not trying to do too much. You're going to play him the pull. I think you got to pitch him in, and he says, right field, base hit. That's 3 hits today for Encarnacion. Blue Jays trying to come right back after giving up a run in the top of the inning. For Edwin now, that's 6 straight hits. 3 hits yesterday, a couple of home runs and a double. 3 this afternoon.
Keuchel with a 4-run lead in his back pocket. Just 1 away, double play depth through the middle, and the first pitch is outside. They worked him away back in the bottom of the 1st inning. Struck him out, and then Lynn popped out in the 4th to the shortstop in shallow center field. Bautista with 1 away with a single through the left side past the diving shortstop VR, and then Encarnacion laced the pitch into right field. Runners at the corners, and this one tailor-made for a double play. 6-4-3 hit on the ground hard right at the shortstop. Double play ends the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. By the all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Chris Carter hit 16 home runs last year and just over 200 at bat for the Oakland A's, and he shows you why. He's got some power. Dead center field. This one in the first inning against Josh Johnson, number 19. He'll strike out, but he's also got some big-time power for him.
Jonathan Villar to begin things here in the top of the 7th. Jose Altuve and then Jason Castro, top of the order for Bo Porter. And Perez with a break-in pitch outside. Villar began things in the top of the first inning with a base hit, and later scored on a base hit off of the bat of Castro. Struck out to end the second, walked, and then was caught stealing to end the fourth. And the count here 3-0. And the pitch misses, 4 straight.
You could win a trip to Alcatraz. Look in specially marked cases of Sleeman. No purchase necessary. Legal drinking age required.
Downtown Toronto here on this Saturday. And Altuve is out of the game, and Jake Elmore is the hitter.
We showed that early in the game that Altuve looked like he had some type of leg problem going first to third.
Yep.
In the first inning, I guess it's finally too tough to take right now. He is out of the ball game, and Elmore is in.
And Elmore looks at a pitch. Elmore has played in 22 games, 67 at bats, 18 hits, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. Elmore pops this one up. Discarding the mask, back of the plate is Aaron Sebia. And Elmore pops out, and that is the first out here in the top of the 7th.
Well, we've talked about this before about Juan Perez and how he's got one of the most unique windups in baseball. You see, he really exposes himself, opens up with that front side, that front foot. Ideally, you'd like it heading right towards home plate, but he steps over towards the third base dugout and just slings the ball towards the plate. Helps him to get great movement on his fastball and his breaking ball. And he's pitched very effectively this year.
Has that herky-jerky type of motion. You see a lot of lefties like that.
Yeah,
don't you?
You know what's so funny about that? I was talking to Pat Henkin the other day about his windup, and he said in the bullpen when he's warming up to come in, he is right on line, meaning he steps right towards home plate. That front foot hits in a direct line towards the plate. It's when he gets into the game is when he really opens up and fires it over towards the third base dugout. But it works. Pat Henkin, he recognizes those kind of things. He sees those kind of details. Says whatever works.
Absolutely. VR with a big lead. He's running. And his stolen base as Aaron Sebia drops the baseball on the exchange from the mitt to the hand. Caught stealing to end the 4th inning, and this time he steals second to base. He had a good-sized lead over at first base and took off.
Been working with Sal Fasano, who was here in town to work with the catchers on all facets of the game. That time ball just pops out of his glove. Second stolen base for VR in his big league career.
Castro and the pitch up and in. Carter waiting on deck. Outfield straight away. 4-run lead for the Astros, but for the Astros, you can never have enough runs as Castro loses a handle and swings through it, and he'll get it back from the bat boy.
Looking for some stick-em.
Yep.
Right there. Pull the string. 2-0. Just loses it.
VR at second with the lead. In conversation with Reyes is VR. The left-hander. Perez comes set. Castro awaits, and here's the pitch. In tight. And the count now at 3-1. So 4-pitch walk to VR. Elmore, the pinch hitter for Jose Altuve, popped out, and now behind in the count to Castro. Castro with a base hit and an RBI in the first. 1 for 3 on the day, and the 3-1 swing and a miss. Way out in front of that one.
Perez not afraid to throw that breaking ball at any time in the count. 3-1 breaking ball. You got it 3-1. You got to get it 3-2, don't you?
Let's see where he goes here. In on the hands, and Castro fights it off. Jays down 7-3. Both teams have 7 hits. The 3-2. Down and in. Ball 4. And that's going to bring up Chris Carter. The second walk here of the 7th inning. See Canada's top athletes like you've never seen them before. Sportsnet Magazine presents The Beauty of Sport. Visit sportsnet.ca/The Beauty of Sport. Top of the 7th, runners at first and second base, both on base with the walk, and Carter looks at a pitch in the dirt, and it's 1-0. See if Perez can get out of this jam, maybe with a ground ball. Double play depth through the middle. DeRosa toward the second base bag. VR will walk out his lead. Castro with the lead over at first base. Carter awaits, and the pitch, swing and a miss.
The young Astro team, very aggressive on the bases. You like to see that. Young players out there trying to move up. Ball in the dirt once again. Aaron Sebia blocks it. But both of the runners on base were thinking about moving up. Bill Porter has this team, although they're out of it, they're playing hard.
There's a strike. And a team that has lost 15-19 on the road. They've won just 16 on the road this season. They're 4-15 against the AL East. And overall, they've lost 19 of 23 games. You got to have patience.
Yeah. And today they are competing against the Blue Jays. Playing hard.
Two on, just one away, in the count of 1-2 to Carter. Carter, swing and a miss, got him, pitched down in the dirt.
Well, there are the last 26 games that we've been talking about. 5-21 with a very high ERA, run differential -78. And they'll kick it around, but they've got some young players coming up through the farm system. They've had some high drafts the last couple of years.
Yep.
And they just have to be patient.
Pitch rides up and in to Brad Wallace. Wallace struck out in the first, struck out to end the third, and grounded out to Encarnacion with Johnson covering the bag in the 6th.
we will see one of those young players tomorrow who are starting for the Astros. Jared Kozart will start tomorrow afternoon. They've made some astute baseball decisions, I think, over the last couple of years when they were all in and they said, you know what, we're starting all over. We're going to trade our veteran players, Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence, Roy Oswalt. They've got some nice young players to start building with.
Chop foul. Of course, change of ownership, change of leagues. And once again, change of the uniform. Here in the 7th inning, Astros lead 7-3. Reed Ryan, Nolan Ryan's son, named president. He was in charge of some minor league teams and taken off for third base. VR. And he takes third, and runners now at the corners as Perez.
Well, now Encarnacion has to come over and hold the runner on.
Yep, opening up a hole on that right side.
Wallace. He awaits. Castro is a runner. At first, the catcher, he walked. Lefty Perez comes to the plate. There you go. Exactly what you said, Tabby. As they throw back behind the runner at second base, and Castro able to get back. And here in the 7th, add one more run.
Boy, that worked out nicely for the Houston Astros, didn't it?
Yep.
First and second, 2 outs. You steal third base. The first baseman has to come in, hold the runner on. Big hole on the right side. And Brett Wallace says, thank you very much. Base hit into right field. RBI. Bautista heads up, throws behind the runner, almost gets Castro at second base, trying to make a wide turn. But Astros playing some heads-up baseball this afternoon.
Swing and a miss by Kraus. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be DeRosa, Rasmus, and Aaron Sebia. Try to get the offense jump started here on this Saturday for the Jays. And foul tipped. Count 0-2, and runners at first and second base. Wallace picks up his 17th RBI. 8-3. Here in the 7th inning, the lefty Perez. And Kraus didn't chase it. Two for 4 last night with a home run, a double, and 4 RBIs. And Kraus swings and misses, strikes out. And that'll end the 7th inning, but not before. A run is scored, an RBI single off of the bat of Brett Wallace. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th. #1 source for live baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry Z10. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com. AtBat13 is the official app of Major League Baseball. Elmore comes in to play second base for Altuve, who left. Of course, he was a pinch hitter back in the 7th inning, and he popped out to Aaron Sebia. Back in the second, home run number 100 in his career.
First pitch, heater down and in. Mark DeRosa. That one's going to end up on the mantle right there. Milestone home run for Mark DeRosa.
DeRosa, Rasmus, Aaron Sebia. If anyone gets on, Laurie. And the lefty brings it in, and it's a strike. Dallas Keuchel with that big overhanded curveball has held opponents to 3 runs or less in 9 of his 13 starts. He's doing it right now to the potent offense of the Jays. Ground ball, left side, gobbled up. 1 away.
You know who he is reminding me of as I watch him. Remember Mike Hampton, the left-hander who was with the Astros and the Mets? Looks like him. Doesn't overpower you, but he looks very smart. He's got 3 pitches that he can throw over for strikes. And it looks like he's the type of guy who throws harder than he really is on the radar gun, with great command. You never know what you're going to get with young players. Who's going to step up? Keuchel stepping up this afternoon.
Rasmus looks at a strike. Last time up, just jumped on a pitch. Breaking ball in the 5th and hit his 17th home run. And there's strike 2. Hampton, of course, started with Seattle, then a long stretch with Houston. Big deal with the Mets, then shipped to Colorado, on to Atlanta.
Had a great career.
Yep.
Really fine career. Really made his way when he went to Houston. Became an all-star pitcher. Same type of stuff. Same type of delivery.
16 years in the bigs, won 148 games. 7 years with the Astros. 76-50 with a 3.59 ERA. I think they would take that.
Yeah, I think they'd take that for sure. And he's left-handed.
Yes, the lefty, 25 years of age, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Rasmus swings and misses, and there's 2 down.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Here in the 7th inning, JP Aaron Sebia, and the lefty in there with a strike. Five strikeouts for Keuchel, and Dallas deals, and the pitch down low and away. The lefty doesn't use a lot of effort out there. He just soft tossing it. 83 pitches. Just kind of puts it out there. Here you go.
Turn it over. Cut it in. That's 84 pitches. You know, we were talking to Dave Tremblay, who was coaching the third base for this team, and we were asking him about him. He said he reminds him of John Lester, not the speed, but the ability to turn the ball over and to cut the ball in on the right-handers. I like Mike Hampton better.
The 7th rounder from the 2009 draft has 6 strikeouts. He strikes out Aaron Sebia to end the 7th. Brought to you by Bacardi Oakard, smooth spice rum Bacardi, proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays.
You see this a lot with young players in the big leagues. First, Justin Maxwell, homers to right field. Second time he did that, nobody gets up and gives him the high five. So he said, boys, I'm going to go see you in the locker room right here. He shuts it down. The silent treatment from the bench of the Astros, and he comes back and says, okay, we're part of the team right now. What a smooth move by everybody.
Maxwell to begin the 8th. And 8 runs for the Astros. Maxwell, Dominguez, and Barnes here in the 8th. Back to the top of the order if anything happens. 0 for 2 last night. Maxwell in the series 1 for 5. But a home run in the 4th, and then hit by a pitch, stole second, and scored on a base hit by Dominguez. That was in the 6th. Perez comes set. And this one's fouled off. Hitting .324 against left-handers this season is Maxwell. And that time he looked at a strike. And that is the 4th strikeout for the lefty Perez.
Looking for something off speed, maybe. Slip that fastball right by him. Just leaking out there a little bit too quickly. And it freezes him.
Dominguez looks at a strike. Here in the 8th inning, 1 away. And Matt Dominguez grounds this one to Reyes. 2 down now. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Brandon Barnes, who is 0 for 3. Bottom half of the 8th, it'll be Brett Laurie, Jose Reyes, and Melky Cabrera. And then if anyone gets on, Jose Bautista for the Blue Jays as they trail by 5. And it started in the top of the 1st inning. 4 runs given up by Josh Johnson, unfortunately for the Jays. as this one's fouled back. And then he settled in and got Wallace, Krause into Maxwell, a 1-2-3 second. A walk in the third, but no trouble there as he struck out Wallace to end the third. And after getting Krause to begin the fourth to ground out to Encarnacion, the trouble started with the Maxwell and Dominguez. Barnes to the right side, giving chase to Rosa. He's going to run out of room as that one bounces deep into the stands. 34,317 here at the Rogers Center on this Saturday. Hall of Fame induction weekend. Cooperstown, New York. A special place. About a 5-hour drive from here in Toronto. Perez has the sign, and here's a 1-2, and Barnes fouls it off to the right side.
You ever been to Cooperstown?
Oh yeah, took the boys there 3 summers ago, and what a special place.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think one of the great moments was when I went there with my father, my brother, and my firstborn son, when he couldn't even walk, but we went there 3 generations. There's just something about that, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry broadcast studio. Jamie? This season on Sportsnet, live on your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com/sports to get started. And to get things started here in the bottom half of inning number 8 is Brett Lord. Grounded into a double play back in the second, struck out in the 5th. Keuchel deals, and the pitch is high and outside.
You just haven't been able to figure him out, that he's taking a little something off. He's using his curveball when he needs to. Got to get something started now. It's getting late.
To the right side. And one down here in the 8th inning. The Astros have not had a complete game this season. The longest that any starter has worked, Cozart 8, as well as Norris 8. Cozart back on July 12th in Tampa.
Those were no-hit innings too for him.
Yep.
That's why he was able to go that long.
And then Norris against LA. The Angels on the 8th of May. And for this left-hander, he just calmly goes about his business here on this Saturday and looks at a strike, does Reyes.
Throwing strikes, turning it over. We talked about it last inning about him looking a little bit like Mike Hampton. I looked up, here's something else that he'll like about Mike Hampton. I looked up how much Hampton made in his big league career.
Fouled off to the right.
I think he's really going to like this if he's going $124.5 million.
It's not bad.
Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. Of course, Hampton got to the bigs when he was 20
years old.
And really, by the age of 25, he was starting to put things together toward that all-star performances.
His age 26 season in the big leagues for the Houston Astros went 22-4.
Yeah, there you go.
And guess who was a free agent after that year?
Right. That's when the Mets stepped in, right?
Yes.
Gave him that big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then shipped him to Colorado.
Went to the World Series with the Mets.
1-2 the count with a one away here in the home half of the 8th inning. And Reyes stays alive as he fouls that one off. Reyes over the last 8 games hitting .394. Pair of homers, couple of doubles, and 7 RBIs. He is hitless here on this Saturday. And we'll finish up this series against the Astros tomorrow. Todd Redmond will be on the hill, the right-hander. Keuchel. And looped into center field, and a base hit now for Jose Reyes. With one away here in the 8th inning, that's going to bring up Melky Cabrera. The longest that this left-hander has worked this season, a full 7 innings, as I mentioned, that was against the Angels in L.A. back on May 31st. And he worked 6 1/3 on June 16th against the White Sox at home in Houston and won that one. And that was his last win. Last 3 times out, no decisions. Took a loss on June 1st against Tampa, his 5th loss of the season. Lefty is 4-5 with a 4.42 ERA, and Cabrera stares at a pitch down in the zone, and Melky didn't like it as he turns away and grimaces and looks down the third base line where Louis Rivera is rolling through the signs.
Well, Keuchel pitched well enough to win his last start. They just didn't get him any runs. 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run to Oakland. Could not win that game.
Driven into left center field, over to cut it off on one bounce is Kraus. Back-to-back base hits here for the Jays. Runners at first and second to base, and here comes Jose Bautista. Can he give one a ride?
Yeah, big decisions right now. He's been in total command. He's under 100 pitches, but with 1 out, a couple of base hits, and here come the Thunder for the Blue Jays. This is where you have to sense, I think, if you're a manager, is he losing it? Is he losing a little something off his fastball and his breaking ball? Then I'll go to my bullpen. Or is it just a couple of good hitters getting a couple of base hits?
And if you're Bo Porter, you have to be a little bit concerned when you call upon that a bullpen. Their bullpen has blown 15 saves. They've given up 64 home runs, 22 more than any other pen. So I'm sure he's thinking, let's keep Dallas out there.
Well, that's why I said he's got to be able to say, all right, is he losing something off of his fastball? Is his breaking ball not as sharp? He's got 5 runs to work with that 5-run lead. Probably really hoping to get through this inning right here. They have a closer, Jose Veras. He's put up some decent numbers, but it's just getting to him now.
Runners at first and second. Keuchel comes set at the chest, and the pitch is a strike. So a first pitch strike. Reyes with 1 away, a base hit. Will flare into center field, and then Cabrera into the gap. In left center field, cut off by Krause. Runners at first and second here. Reyes with a lead. Both feet on the AstroTurf, and this one is fouled off to the right side, and quickly now 0-2 for Dallas Keuchel, who pitches in Houston, Texas. Home half of the eighth. Jays in need of runs. 5 of them to tie it up. And there is that right-hander. Veras warming up in the bullpen. Time called by Jose. He'll back out of the batter's box here. Barnes deep in left center field. Playing him the pull, and the right fielder Maxwell well off the line. The pitch down and in.
Not a bad idea. He had Jose leaning out over the plate, looking for a sinker. Tried to bust him in right there. Outfield deep. They're really playing him the pull. Look at the gap. If he shoots one over Elmore, the second baseman, can run for days.
Encarnacion, he awaits. 2 home runs in the 7th last night for Edwin. He's 3 for 3. Jose with a count of 1-2. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Can he come through here? Keuchel with a 1-2 and the pitch outside, and the count now 2-2. Got ahead in the count, and now Dallas Keuchel being extremely cautious. Bo Porter goes back to the sunflower seeds. 2 on, 1 out, and here's a 2-2. Jose Bautista deep to left field. Gone! A 3-run home run off of the bat of Jose. It's a 2-run game in the bottom of the 8th.
Keuchel hasn't given up that many home runs. Just 2 since June 1st. Jose's going to reach him for one. That ball was down and away, and Jose went out, got it, and yanked it into the seats in left field.
And now Castro is going to pay Keuchel a visit.
Watch this one. The approach. Plate coverage down and away. Go out there and get it. And hook the ball to left field with one hand on a line. Over the fence, over the bullpen, into the stands at left field.
24 jacks now on the season for Bautista. RBIs 62, 63, and 64. Edwin back in the batter's box. He is 3 for 3. And now, here in the 8th inning, Bo Porter coming out.
You see who he's talking to? He's talking to his catcher. And that's what I mean about he has to make a decision. Does he want to stretch out his closer and try and get 5 outs? Let me talk to the catcher. Is he losing anything on his fastball? How's his breaking ball? Is his sinker still sinking? That's why Porter's out there to talk to his catcher. Jason Castro might have said, he's still throwing pretty good stuff. I don't know. This is the decisions he's going to have to make.
And now he's right at 100. And Keuchel is going to leave the game and turn it over to that bullpen. It's always an iffy proposition if you're Bo Porter. As I mentioned, 15 blown saves. Bullpen has given up 64 homers, 22 more than any other bullpen. It's 8-6. 1 away here in the 8th inning. for the lefty Dallas Keuchel. Gave up a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the lefty goes 7 1/3, his longest outing of the season. 100 pitches, 10 hits, 6 runs, all earned. And the second time this season that he has given up 3 home runs, and they turn it over to the bullpen.
The veteran, that's Jose Veras, the closer. 18 for 21 in save opportunities this season for Veras. A good strikeout to walk ratio. He's been around. They are stretching him out this afternoon because they want this one.
Way outside. The first pitch to Encarnacion.
In the past, in his career, Veras, he has pitched for the Yankees and the Marlins and the Pirates, the Brewers and the Indians, and he has been wild. He's got a good arm. Throws into the mid-90s with a good slider, but he's had command issues. Not this year. He's only walked 14 batters this year in 41 innings.
His last save. Now you got to remember, there's just not many opportunities down there in Houston. Last save on July 12th, that was against Tampa. And a break-in ball, and that misses. Jays right back in this one. Finally got to the lefty, Keuchel. There's a strike. Keuchel gave up 3 home runs on June 21st in Chicago against the White Sox. And he does it here, but he still has 2 runs tucked away there, and so he can still get this W if Veras can hold on to it. Ground ball with eyes into center field. Encarnacion is aboard. What a day. 4 for 4 for Edwin.
That's his first 4-hit game of the season. He had 6 3-hit games. Stays on that breaking ball. And now he has 7 straight hits.
Adam Lind.
Followed up Encarnacion's home run yesterday in the 7th with this big home run. And it looked like Bo Porter was trying to avoid the tying run coming to the plate. That's why he went to the right-hander to face Encarnacion. Well, that backfired.
Here's Lind 0 for the day. Fouls the first pitch off. He was jumping on that one.
A little bit tardy. Started the swing a little bit late.
Adam awaits. This one driven deep to left field. However, it's going to remain in the ballpark as Krause is over and makes the catch. As Torres will pinch hit for DeRosa here in the 8th inning. DeRosa with a home run in the 2nd. Grounded into an inning double play in the 4th and grounded out in the 7th. So is Torres here to keep this inning going? Be nice to see if Torres can get on board, and then all of a sudden you got a Rasmus coming to the plate. Veras with the sign. Edwin close to the bag at first, and the pitch fouled off. Meiser hitting .249.
Just his third at bat as a pinch hitter this year. He comes off the bench swinging. His job right now, get on base. I like the matchup of Rasmus against Veras. Home run hitter.
Yep.
He would then represent the go-ahead run. So Meiser just try and get on any way you can. Take your chances with Rasmus.
That pitch misses. His Torres hitting .243 left-handed. Veras with the 2-1. Driven into center field. Barnes going back. He's underneath it. And the inning ends, but not before Jose Bautista puts a charge into one here in the home half of the 8th. We head to the 9th. It's a 2-run game here in Toronto. Bautista with a 3-run jack. Jay Saturdays presented by Boston Pizza. Saturday, August 10th, Jays against the A's, 1:07 first pitch. Special kids price tickets in the 200, 500 level. Outfield seats after the game. Kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Call 416-341-1234. BlueJays.com or head to most Rogers Plus locations.
New pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays. Third pitch of the afternoon, the veteran Darren Oliver. It's been off for 4 days. Last pitch in the Dodgers series. Here, I love how he goes about his business. He just comes in and just throws strikes. Meiser stays in the game at second base after he pinch hit for DeRosa, but Oliver just comes in, gets ahead early, and then puts you away late with an off-speed pitch.
Jonathan VR. And then Jake Elmore and Castro. Here in the top of the 9th inning. If you're thinking about the bottom of the 9th, it's Rasmus, Arancibia, and Laurie. And there is a strike. And the pitch just misses away. Perez worked 2 1/3. Allowed a hit, a run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Strike three. VR goes down.
That's what I mean about Darren Oliver. Gets ahead, shoots to the middle parts of the plate, gets 2 strikes, and then paints you. This one a strike right on the outside corner. The young shortstop for the Astros doesn't think so. They've got plenty of the plate.
13 Astros have struck out here today. And the veteran left-hander trying to keep it a 2-run game. And Elmore looks at a pitch down and in. Count 2-0. And there's a strike. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Oliver with the sign. And the 2-1 pitch. Just off the outside corner, and the count now in Elmore's favor. Recalled from AAA on June 25th. Count runs full. Can play multiple positions. And he drives this one into right field, and coming on is Bautista. And to his knees, he makes the catch.
He was anticipating that ball. He got a great break on it, and he wasn't going to give up until he made the catch. You have to be in the ball game to recognize that ball off the bat and then go get it. Jose playing some great right field on this homestand.
That ball sinking and tailing away from him. And here comes Castro, the left-handed hitting catcher, and the pitch down and away. Outfield, straight away. Oliver to the plate, and there is a strike.
One more time, lay it out. Bautista watching that ball all the way. That's about 6 inches off the ground that he takes away a hit from Elmore.
Oliver now ahead in the count. One strike away from the bottom of the 9th with the Jays looking for 2 runs. Rasmus, Aaron Sebia, Laurie, if anybody gets on Reyes. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Blue Jays down 2 runs as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Colby Rasmus, JP Aaron Sebia, and Brett Laurie due up, home half of the 9th. Coming up next, stay tuned for Connected on Ontario East, West, and Pacific. That is coming up after Blue Jays baseball. Still some work to be done here. Jays down by 2 runs. They'll send up Rasmus, Aaron Sebia, Laurie, and then back to the top of the order. And Veras pours in a fastball strike. Rasmus, a home run in the 5th. He's 1 for 3, and a breaking ball misses in the count of 1-1.
Figure out a way to get on there. You get a base hit, take a walk, somehow to get on, put a little pressure on the Astros.
Since the break, hitting .393. And that pitch in the dirt.
Looked like Veras might have lost his footing on the mound when he tried to deliver that pitch. His command has been great this year. Looked like he might have hit a soft spot on the mound, the rubber.
The 2-1, and it's now 2-2. Rasmus thought that pitch was outside. Here in the 9th inning, Rasmus to start things. He has reached base now in 23 of the last 24 games. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it straight back.
Good pitch hit right there. Rasmus had a hit like that the other night when he had his 4-hit game, a little slider from the back door. Just punched it into center field. The outfield thinks he's going to go the other way. The infield set to pull. The outfield playing Colby the other way. Very interesting.
Veras with the 2-2, and Colby pops it up left side. Third baseman calling off the shortstop, and Dominguez takes care of it. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected, here's Jamie Thomas. Look forward to that. And what a wonderful day and moment for Tom Cheek's family. Ford C. Frick Award winner as Aaron Sebia looks at a strike. 4,306 consecutive games in the booth for the Jays. And one of the greatest calls of all time. Ground ball right side. Pitcher covering the bag. 2 down. Here's Brett Laurie trying to keep it alive. Here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Veras, they brought him in the 8th inning to try to get 5 outs. So far, he's gotten 4. Gave up that single to Encarnacion.
This is a tough field to field on. Brett Wallace goes over and a ball with some spin on it, and he has to reach back to make the out. Looked like it might have hit a seam over there by the dirt, but he handles that flawlessly.
Laurie looks at a strike. Veras has 18 saves. And this one driven into right field, but underneath it is Maxwell, and it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the ninth inning, and Veras collects his 19th save in the Jays. Tabby unable to come back.
Bo Porter pushing all the right buttons this afternoon. He got good starting pitching from Keuchel, got him into the 8th inning, and then Veras finished it off. VR started it. Carter with the big home run in the first inning. Blue Jays lose a tough one to the Astros.
Well, no question about that. Losing 8-6 despite 3 home runs. Coming up next, stay tuned for Connected on Ontario, East, West, and Pacific. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching, everyone.